Where did this music come from? What's better than listening to your favorite song over and over again and having it just take you somewhere? Hearing something new that sounds so good, it's like you've heard it 100 times already. This summer, I discovered the music of Nick Drake, and I'm trying to figure out why it's some of the most beautiful and haunting and familiar music I've ever heard in my life, especially the song Riverman.
Betty came by on her way.
Musically speaking, it's a masterpiece. It uses just a few unique elements to maximum effect. First, it's in 5/4 time, which is a rarity in 4/4 based popular culture, although Dave Brubeck did it. And Sting had a hit song in 5/4. But here, it's really slowed down to where it floats, and the guitar and the bass really set the tone. Recorded in 1969, that's Danny Thompson on bass, the legendary English bassist who's recorded with Kate Bush, Peter Gabriel, and Rod Stewart, among others. Secondly, the harmony is just brilliant and part of the magic of this song. It jumps between major and minor tonalities, so there's this constant feeling of dark and light in each phrase. It starts in major. But when he starts singing, it becomes minor. And the pattern always comes back to a major chord again. Third verse hits, and we get those strings.
Gonna see the riverman.
The strings on this song were arranged by Harry Robertson, who did a lot of music for British stage and screen. Nick Drake strummed the chords to the song for him, showed him what he liked, and made suggestions. According to the record's producer, Joe Boyd, Harry showed up with 14 strings, with Harry conducting next to Nick. People say, how do you get that great sound? By having a bunch of microphones open in a great room. There was no separation, no booths. Nick was out there with the strings. Wow. Those strings included violin, viola, and cello, and they're in an open voicing, kind of a drop 3, with the two highest voices close to one another.
Gonna see the riverman. Gonna tell him all I can about the plan for light time.
Coming out of that verse, we get the magic chord. This is made extra spicy because the strings hold it for 3 measures and they trill on it. Leading into the interlude and a beautiful violin melody. Five measures. That's a non-traditional length for a phrase. We tend to hear our music more symmetrically, in 2s and 4s, but he writes a 5-measure phrase here, and it feels and sounds perfect. And the cellos echo the violins, but their phrase is 7 measures long. They hang on that C major just a little longer to create more drama, which ends up at my favorite verse in the song.
Betty said she prayed today for the sky to blow away, or maybe stay. She wasn't sure.
Oof, that's amazing. What's your favorite Nick Drake lyric? Let me know in the comments. And what do we hear in the string parts there? We hear sky. They go up, they play in a close voicing, and it lifts the music.
Betty said she prayed today.
Almost 3 minutes in, and now we get a counter melody from the violins with this repeated rhythmic figure. Which gives the music more pulse, more momentum, just before those tremolos happen. I love this. Last verse, ritornello. The strings come back to what they played initially, kind of bookending the whole thing, and he mentions the riverman again.
Gonna see the riverman.
There's all this great motion happening in the strings, and we pass through C minor and C major one more time before we end up on the magic chord. And the ending rides out on this mysterious chord, this Lydian dominant sound. This is a sound that's used in jazz a bunch, but you also hear it in Bartok, Stravinsky, and Debussy. Like I said, this is a masterpiece. And when I first heard it, I found myself listening to it over and over again, not just because it's so beautiful, but because it sounded so familiar to me. Listening to this music is like listening to 60 years of pop, meets jazz, meets impressionism, all set to a string orchestra. It's powerful. And if you listen really hard, you can hear the fruit that this music produced, like Kate Bush and Beck and Norah Jones, among others. Unfortunately, Nick Drake's story is not a happy one. He died young and unknown, and he struggled with mental illness. But the story is not a new one. Music history is littered with great artists who never lived to see the peak of their success or popularity. I believe this music will be around a long time after we're gone. It's timeless, so make sure you check it out.